And Alex Marlow, Breitbart editor-in-chief. Now, Alex, clearly what's going on here, because the Secretary of Treasury was referencing all these stories about whether Hegseth's on the ropes or Trump's in decline, that this is the narrative that's being peddled going into the midterms. But the Democrats have nothing about how they have plans to grow the economy. None of that, right? It's only Trump's in decline. Is this the right strategy going into the midterms?
No, because the establishment media has been entirely discredited, and they got even more discredited in this specific interview. Laura, you played my favorite clip. It's the 45-minute interview. It's a great interview. Everyone should watch it. You played my single favorite line to start, which is when he says, I don't read the New York Times anymore. I used to read them, and then someone sends me articles every once in a while that I may have read. He's mocking them to their face. Even the last Trump administration, which was mostly pretty good, was always vying for positive coverage in the New York Times. Now you got the Treasury Secretary, who's one of the most distinguished members of the cabinet, saying, I don't even care about you guys at all. And then he scolds them. He scolds them on not just getting Joe Biden's decline wrong, but also on how they got China wrong. He scolds them for how they did nothing to encourage the Biden administration to de-risk from China. It was a complete masterclass, and he is just unbelievable.
Yeah, and whether it's trying to give off-the-record comments to Maggie Haberman at the New York Times or Bob Woodward at the Post. I mean, none of it ever works. And I think they've kind of learned that. But do you notice how Sorkin just glided past all the failures of the New York Times regarding Biden's health, Alex? But I say, is there any newspaper that's the paper of record anymore? I mean, that whole paper of record phraseology is out the window totally.
No, and they've been neutralized. They've neutralized themselves. And so long as there are cabinet secretaries who are bold enough to call them out. And I gotta say, Laura, I had the privilege of sitting down with Secretary Bessent for 40 minutes on my podcast last week, and I asked him about his unique ability to be able to beat these guys in arguments. I traced it back to his Yale days as a professor, and he was very complimentary of his students. He said, but, I'd come in, and I have facts. They have opinions. That's what he was doing with Andrew Ross Sorkin there. And he had no defense. He started arguing about Rush Hour 4. Did you catch that? He's fighting with them about Rush Hour 4. It was completely absurd. And Bessent is really just so talented at this.
No, he has a way of kind of flicking him off. Like, well, you're a pop historian now with his book.
So does Bessent.
That was brutal. I mean, it was but he does it kind of in good fun, too. But if you're going to have him on at a conference, you better be prepared. And it's kind of predictable that he's going to call you out on your coverage of Biden, right? And I think Sorkin at that point just needed to change the depends. I mean, I think that was just kind of can I have an extra pair? Alex, great to see you, my friend. We got to go. Sorry, thanks for coming on.